still in college, like my oldest son is a junior at U of O doing a business degree with a marketing concentration, which is exactly the path I took. I'm advising him to lean into AI and become
Absolutely.
a translator for us old fogies. Even though you and I train clients on AI to a degree, it's that he should be running circles around me on what's possible with AI, so that I'm hiring him as a marketer that has he can bring the knowledge of everybody that's ever been out there,
Right.
if he knows how to harness the data, right? So that's the expertise that I think I'm advising my son is lean in as a future marketer.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with NDUB podcast, where I'm your host and I bumped the mic, so my bad, for another episode. Thank you for all my worldwide listeners. Thank you for my first time listeners for joining the show. As you can tell, I'm not by myself. I got my man, Kent Lewis here. Welcome back,
Pleasure to be here as always, my friend.
as always. And you know what's crazy, y'all? This is like take two, because just like with Crystal, it didn't record the first time. So guess what? Now we're doing it again, but for not as long, because Kent dropped some value bombs. So, Kent, I used to call you the PDX Godfather of Marketing. Now I don't know what to call you because you have sold your agency. You're not my rabbit anymore. You're on to bigger, better, but you're also sunsetting. You're moving. There's a lot going on, but for those that probably clicked, and hopefully you're gonna watch to the end. AI is just decimating jobs, crushing industries. It is rewiring how we do things. What is your take on all this AI?
So I think multiple hats to wear. One is the first one as an former agency owner that still does some consulting. If I'm owning a big agency, I'm concerned that I am have the need to or desire to trim staff and rely more heavily on AI. I don't necessarily think that's the right solution. I think it would definitely be smart for agency owners to
Mm,
look at growth through scaling with AI as an amplifier and a force multiplier,
right.
offshoring, outsourcing, vibe coding, low code. That's going to be the future. I have a friend that's been leaning into AI for years that runs an agency out of now Italy. Formerly, he was in the UK, and AI is in every aspect of his agency. But he's also looking at low code, and he's moving from the billable hour to building apps
Okay.
that, you build 10 apps, one hits it big, and then you
Mm,
can make money while you sleep. It's
yeah.
something I was always wanting to do,
Man, I wanted that business model.
right? And so my buddy Deepak over at Pearl Lemon, you follow that guy. Deepak Shukla is like next level. When wearing the hat as a small business, single entrepreneur, contract CMO, with maybe all of 10 hours a month of billable
Mm,
across a couple of clients, I basically have strategy meetings once a month with my clients. But when they ask me to do research, I will blend AI after I do my old school research. So I fully
okay.
understand the client and the business and maybe their competitors. Then I'll layer in some AI for additional robustness. But now I charge differently because I used to charge thousands of dollars for plans that they can generate themselves in 10 seconds. And
Right.
so we have to differentiate, you and I and other marketers, as tastemakers, providing context, leveraging the things that AI doesn't do well, like sort of strategic thinking, creative thinking, that sort of thing. So I've been using it to be a larger agency out of just being one person, ultra thin sliced
Because
time.
you had an agency of how many people?
At peak, it was maybe 16. When I
Okay.
sold, it was like 11. But if I still had that team today, we'd be punching at like 20 to 30 size if we had that
Mm,
current size, based on how we could streamline and automate and use AI to amplify what we do. I would tend to not rehire unless it's a relationship related person.
right.
Now,
Okay.
so that's we're marketers or we're agency owners or business owners. But then let's look at, if you're still in college, like my oldest son is a junior at U of O doing a business degree with a marketing concentration, which is exactly the path I took. I'm advising him to lean into AI and become
Absolutely.
a translator for us old fogies. Even though you and I train clients on AI to a degree, it's that he should be running circles around me on what's possible with AI, so that I'm hiring him as a marketer that he can bring the knowledge of everybody that's ever been out there,
Right.
if he knows how to harness the data, right? So that's the expertise that I think I'm advising my son is lean in as a future marketer with AI as a powerful tool to amplify your career and everything you do every day. My youngest son, as a junior in high school, has been cutting hair for 3 years. So
Mm,
I'm advising. It's still based on my experience and my knowledge I've been an adjunct professor like you. There are broken things about the university system,
mm,
and there's still amazing things. And so to me, it's
right.
about socialization, getting out of the nest, building your sense of identity, learning so you can do well on Jeopardy later in life. But but I'm telling my son, do your 4 years. You've got your 529. Take advantage of it.
Mm.
Don't overspend, stay in state. And then secondarily
And don't go in
is
debt. Don't go in
right
debt.
is
Yeah.
then now go to beauty school and learn how to cut all types of hair, not just white boys with llama cuts.
Mm,
He's good at that, but he realizes finally. First, he said, I don't need any help. I don't need to learn. I got everything I need. He has an incredible setup in our basement, like a full barber shop,
oh,
basically.
okay.
So now he needs the training. So he's open to going to school. And if he just wanted to go to barber school, all in, that's fine. So the way I look at it is, whereas my oldest son is going to go the route that most people think they're going to go, which is I'm going to go into marketing or I'm in marketing, but I need to figure out how to lean into AI instead of be afraid of it.
Mhm.
There are a lot of graphic designers and coders that are afraid of AI or have this sort of moral stand against it, and they will be out of a job.
Yeah.
Straight up. You can take your high road all the way to unemployment, or you can figure out how to use AI.
'Cause I always ask, when folks come in that work in the tech or marketing, I'm like, "Can AI replace you?"
Yeah, if you don't do your job well, AI will replace you because you don't do it well. If you do it exceedingly well, that means you're probably using AI and you will be irreplaceable. The way I look at it is think of using AI to do all the repetitive, low value tasks. So you do all the critical thinking, the creativity, the
Mhm.
context, the tastemaker work. That's how AI differentiates. Or go potentially the path of my younger son, who I'm advising the opposite, which is go blue collar jobs that are AI resistant, that are also recession resistant. Because for most of my 30-year marketing career, tech was impenetrable as a stable clientele base. That
Mm,
it weathered everything until the last couple years, and then there's all these people,
interesting.
senior people, losing their jobs. So to finish up, one thought is if you are good with your hands, then leverage that strength.
Yeah, definitely.
HVAC, electrician, auto mechanic, whatever it is, rely on that. The other aspect is, I think it's really important. My career advice is understand you may have limited knowledge or experience. AI can short circuit all of that. You can, like Neo from the Matrix or Pluribus, where we're all one,
Right.
like those kind of ideas. Watch the show if you haven't. Um, or you can, so you can short circuit your experience, but nobody can short circuit your own passion. So if you're not pursuing a career where your role, your day to day is harnessing or leveraging your interests or passions or getting you closer to that goal, then you're probably missing an opportunity. Leverage your superpowers, your unique abilities, whatever. I know Nathan's ability to create community with his events and his podcast. He needs to continue to lean into that. For me, I'm a cheerleader. I like to help people. I can raise money and sell, a freezer to somebody at the North Pole, but only if I believe in it, right? So I think it's leverage your strengths, leverage
Right.
your knowledge and experience, align with your passions, and then set goals so that when you are building your career, whether you're mid-career or even late career, is make sure that you going where you want to go. Have you checked off your goals? Are you tracking? So when Nathan mentioned I'm moving to Bend next summer, that's the plan is, oh, you're going to retire. And to me, it's retirement is a state of mind. And I mean all the best and worst. I met a guy recently that he made $30 million at 25, 26 years old,
Mm,
um, you know, 30 years ago or more. And he, in the next year of screwing off and not doing anything, he developed like a severe depression. He had no
mm,
purpose. He was making no impact. He was bored, and he was, probably getting into some bad choice sort of activities. This
yeah,
is what he told me.
yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not, I'm not done. I'm just getting started. So now he's in his mid 60s and he has 5 companies he's running. And he's
Mhm.
like, I've never been happier. This isn't work, right? So it's not work if you harness those 4 areas.
Right.
And for me, retirement is simply I will help people until they don't no longer want my help, that there's nobody left to help. The odds
Mm.
are that I will be able to help people into my 80s, 90s, however long I last on this planet is I'm going to try to add value in people's lives. The sending the elevator down, I've been doing that since day one.
Mm.
So my parting piece of advice career wise is my mom told me learn, earn, return. Those are the three phases of your career. And that struck me as odd but logical that you would learn through college and then you just start making money off what you learned or in your career. And then up in your 40s, 50s, maybe 60s, you retire and then you start volunteering. And I was like, that's dumb. I'm going to do all three every day. So when I moved to Portland in 1995, I immediately started volunteering at local charities like the Friendly House and Big Brothers and Smart. I've never stopped learning. I still go to learning events. I still host learning events. I still am learning. I'm trying to make myself better. I started cooking now once a week for the family, which
Oh,
is
okay.
was scary at first. And you know what? I should have been doing this the whole time. It's just that my wife's a really good chef, and I'm really good at doing dishes. But I just cooked a potato soup recipe out of New York Times on Monday. I cook on Mondays, and it's like fun. Like I can't believe I haven't, because I why would I need to cook when I already have a chef in the
Right.
house? So
Right.
now it's actually bringing us together because it takes the load off my wife. So again, AI could help me. I could help me pick a recipe, create a shopping list, yada yada, as an example. But then you should always be learning, and then you should start returning. Send that elevator down. As I was telling Nathan in our first recording, I was on the first floor sending the elevator down. It was like boom, the doors open, and oh wait, I'm still on the same floor. But I went to the second floor. I started sending people, sending back down and bringing people up. And because that's part of what drives me. That's one of my whys. That's my purpose is to better float all the boats with the tide. So I encourage everybody, as Nathan said in our last conversation, is you never know who's going to beat you to the top and be able to send it back down to you, or that you catapult past somebody and realize maybe you need to give back and send it back down for them. So
Right.
it's all about karma. I'm a big believer. I also believe help everybody any chance you get and don't expect anything in return, and you'll be better for it.
I appreciate you coming on the show and doing the second recording. And we're still having problems, but I'm glad we're still getting it no matter what.
Yeah.
Um, for folks that want to reach out to you, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, we were going to talk about thought leadership and other things on how to build your brand as an individual in your career as a marketer. But if you go to kentjlewis.com, you will find resources and there's a webinar I recorded on thought leadership under the speaking engagements at the very bottom. It's a good 30-minute lesson on how to build your brand and a bunch of other articles, syndicated content you can check out in my journey. I also have an article. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm easy to find at Kent Lewis. I can send you a compilation of 70 articles I've written on how to build a career and how to build a business. And then lastly, my day job, Next Northwest, is a trade organization for marketers and advertisers in the Pacific Northwest at nextnw.org. We've got great events. We have a social this Friday. We've got Seth Godin, #1 marketing blogger and author in the world, for our next webinar on March 3rd.
All right. Well, we'll make sure to put that in all the description and show notes so that you can have it. This will come out soon, especially with Seth Godin March. That's awesome.
It's going to be big.
Man, that's going to be huge. So I appreciate you coming on the show
Always a pleasure, Nathan.
and
Thank you.
recording 2 times. 2 times. All right. With that, y'all, we wish you nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed. We're out.